Hey indie game fans! The smaller indie games of July 2019 were impressive nonetheless, and I just may find you that next great deck building roguelite in this video, but let's begin with some quick picks worth checking out. Knightin Plus is a Zelda-light experience featuring a rather simple setup of Sir Loot-a-Lot searching for treasure. The dungeons are simple, but there are some tricky puzzles, and of course has great pixel art. Hamsterdam is an adorable rhythm game where you play as a hamster seeking to save the town of Hamsterdam from the evil chinchilla Marlowe. The action involves doling out punches and kicks at a steady pace, almost rhythm game-like, but you do need to react to enemies attacking by countering and throwing them as well. There are cute accessories and clothing for your hamster, which does affect gameplay, but perhaps the mobile game trappings do a little bit of a disservice to the game. Man, much like Pathway, SolSeraph is a game that I wanted to love so much since it is a spiritual successor to 1990s ActRaiser in all but name, blending side-scrolling action platforming with an overworld map and city building. However, as others have mentioned, there's just something a little bit off about how this game feels. The introduction of more tower defense elements into the city building is a little annoying with constant enemy spawns, and while by no means a bad game, which I do like to some extent, perhaps not something I would recommend right off the bat, since I do recognize my own biases.
What could you do if the world was not as they told us? You must broaden the limits of your perception.
Etherborn is a puzzle platformer that is very Monument Valley in style, making you walk on all sorts of fantastical structures in this exploration adventure. Frankly, this is stunning in appearance with good puzzles, although the gravity-shifting perspective can be unclear, leading me to jump to my death a little too many times. Fate Hunters is a roguelite deck builder with 5 characters, each with its own unique cards, and, unlike Slay the Spire, has no energy system, so you can essentially play all the cards in your hand. The card-based combat system is awesome, with fantastic art to boot. Progression is through obtaining gold from defeating enemies, which are used to unlock new items and classes, but there's a whole risk-reward system of choosing whether or not to escape the dungeon after completing a level and keeping all your gold, or to press on with a higher gold bonus for the next floor. A little bit of a different change of pace and well worth a play. Moving on, here are the top 5 indie games you might have missed in July 2019. I'm not usually a fighting game player, since they can be rather impenetrable and difficult for newcomers to get into, so Fantasy Strike was perfect for me. A simplified fighting game that is a great introduction to the genre, this has 10 characters, well defined by their type, and has no complex key presses and combinations for the special abilities. As such, you can get a little bit more into the mind game aspect of fighting games, with your health meter being split into distinct pips for more clarity. Pretty feature-packed as well, with a campaign, online multiplayer, team fights, and both a daily challenge and survival mode. Grizzland is a super lo-fi mini Metroidvania, which, as you know, is a genre which I adore. This has a resolution of 128 by 96 pixels with white and 4 shades of grey, so not the most beautiful looking game. However, exploration is king here, with a variety of surprises and a degree of self-awareness to the writing and game design. Excellent hidden gem for sure.
Grandma said it's forbidden to enter the dark woods during the night, especially when it's the night of a full moon.
Night of Full Moon is a port of a deck-building roguelite on mobile and tells an alternate take on the story of Little Red Riding Hood.
Don't even think about freeing a prisoner on my watch. Huh? Children, you realize this is not a playground.
Hey, little girl. You look a bit like my baby sister.
Who caught you, the vampire or my brothers?
What? Who's there?
The art and voice acting is top of the class, and perhaps best of all, the base game is free on Steam, with no loot boxes, timers, or any of that junk. You do start out with only 4 out of 7 character classes and can play these to the theoretical end of the story, while additional classes and story packages are offered as DLC at quite an affordable rate.
Hush, mind your tongue.
The werewolf is my only friend.
Are you willing to give your all for me?
Leaving so soon? Just arrived.
I've just been playing the free version so far and I'm really enjoying it, giving you that same sort of deck building satisfaction, so another title which is a great introduction to the genre if you always wanted to give it a try.
Next master.
What's the Streets of Rogue? Streets of Rogue is a game about player choice. The Resistance needs your help to take down the corrupt mayor of the city. But how you gonna do that? Well, you could take the violent approach. Streets of Rogue will allow it. Prefer to be stealthy and slink around in the shadows? Go ahead and get your cardboard box on.
Perhaps not so unknown, but Streets of Rogue is a top-down roguelite action game with 20 wildly different character classes, from soldiers, hackers, guerrillas, doctors, vampires, and more.
Want to live out the classic film Hackers? Who wouldn't? Or you could just hire a bunch of goons to do your dirty work for you. Whatever gets the job done. Want to throw a toilet at someone, causing them to get poisoned from the filthy water? Then take a pill and turn into a giant? And trample their home to pieces? You're a monster. But that's cool. The game doesn't have a morality stat.
Each class has a very different way of going about things, from being able to command gangsters to not being able to use guns, so the variety is certainly one of the main draws.
Streets of Rogue is a living, breathing world with advanced artificial intelligence that won't put up with your crap and doesn't like your insensitive jokes. Does lifelike AI ironically make you feel more alone? Then bring a real human friend. Heck, bring 3. With local and online modes, you don't even have to be in the same room or continent. And there's a whole crap ton of stuff to unlock. Items like bacon cheeseburger and the boombox.
The city is procedurally generated with an AI system which controls all NPCs, and the emergent gameplay moments that result from this are pretty fun stories as well.
Character classes like the friendly police officer. And the zombie. Aw, he started his own adorable mini-apocalypse. What? Don't like those? Then create your own. Here, you can make this thing. Look, he cannibalizes people for extra health.
While undeniably a great game, something about it just doesn't quite click with me, but perhaps I have to give it a little bit more time.
The choices are yours in Streets of Rogue.
A Short Hike is a very pleasant, very beautiful game about taking a short hike to the peak of a mountain to get a cell phone signal. As mentioned previously, I really love the art style of this, and the adventure game portions and flying look especially fun, taking the #1 spot of the month. For more indie games you might have missed, check out the previous video or click on the recommended playlist, and I will see you after the jump.